Guys, you're currently watching a clip from our weekly podcast, Never Onside. The full podcast is available in audio format on Spotify and in video format on YouTube. So go subscribe to us and press on the notifications. It helps us a lot. Thank you.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Never Onside. Hi, this is Joseph, and joining me as usual is Mayur. Hi, Mayur. What a great game week we have just had. The derbies have lived up to expectations for a change, and we clearly got to see who has progressed or who is definitely better in terms of the city. Like whichever team is better in each city, we have a good idea right now. And only the Spurs and Arsenal match, we had a doubt about which one would prevail. But the City United match, we were hoping for a kind of what do you call upset or United playing on the counter. That's what we expected. And look at what has happened. Let's get right into the preview, the review of game week 9. Yeah,
Yes. So started off just to timestamp it. We are still recording. This is early morning Monday. There are only 9 games happened till now. Nottingham Forest obviously will be taking place on Monday, Tuesday early morning and Monday night. So this week, as we go through lots of good matches, we'll keep the North London Derby and the Liverpool game to go through in detail. But for now, let's take a look at Chelsea. So Chelsea played their first match under their new manager Potter, and it wasn't the best. They needed a 90th minute winner from Gallagher, and basically there was a major issue regarding Thiago Silva. I'm not sure was if you saw it or not, but he was the last man. He fell on his front, and then he tried to push the ball with his hand. So he was the last man, and the player was trying to take the ball around him. So definitely
Hmm.
that was a very lucky escape for him.
Did he
Sure
get a
red
yellow
card.
for that?
Yeah, he got
Or
a yellow, but it was a sure red, but he
okay,
escaped it luckily. So that was it. That was a saving grace. But apart from that, Chelsea were very solid in their defensive aspect. So a thing to look out for. Thiago Silva greatly involved.
he
You wouldn't.
yeah, he
Yeah.
gave an assist as well, right?
Yes, yes, yes. He gave an
To
assist to the
Aubameyang.
Oba goal. Yes, and he was very good. Like there are many people praise Ronaldo to perform at 37, but again here he is Thiago Silva at the age of 38 and still playing like he's still in his 30s. So a great match for him and Fofana as well. So Chelsea overall defensively decent, and Jorginho and Kovacic played. So again, those two generally when they play, Chelsea have a little bit of control in that.
Yeah,
So let's move on to the second game, who's the main game, the Manchester Derby. So
yeah.
give us your thoughts.
So the game ended 6-3, which is not even a fair reflection of the performance we saw. Because I would say United were lucky to get away with 3 goals. It would have been 8-0 or 7-0 if City had wanted that to happen. But City just switched on in spells and just blew away United. And in the first 10-15 seconds, when that pinball happened in the United penalty box, I knew we were in trouble. But I was just hoping that we could get into halftime with just 1 goal. And sadly, when Varane came off with the injury, that really was a huge blow. And second goal got scored when he was on the touchline, and that was the trigger to the collapse from United. And I guess the third goal also came in just around 2 minutes of the second goal. The third goal also came in. So, so it was crazy to watch. And like even at 4-0, the sad part is that we were not surprised. We were not, I was just praying that this wouldn't go to 8-0 because I had already seen in my mind that this is going to be a huge defeat. But that Anthony goal and Martial scoring 2 goals, where the only positives, because the goal that Anthony scored cutting into the left hand, that goal was amazing, and it just gave a hope, at least some kind of positive to get a take away from the game. And also when Marshall came into the game, I've been always talking about how Marshall makes the United side tick. So it was you could see the difference when he came in, but City always imperious and blew away United just like that.
Yes. So from City perspective as well, they missed out Rodri, who is generally the anchor role, and he likes to make things happen from his part. So it was a huge miss. So even before the match, I was talking with host, so I thought that would be a huge miss. And generally, not many players have played in that DM role. They have used Stones there. They have used some other players. Gundogan played approximately after like 1 year or something in that DM role. So definitely it was a challenge for them, but they came out with flying colors. The main part today we saw is the United front four tried to press the City back four, right? And that's why City saw that, and City was like, "We'll wait. We'll try to play between us, our defense." And once all the four players pushed forward, they just were left with McTominay and Christian Eriksen in the center. And
Yeah.
Haaland used to generally drop a lot bit around Eriksen or somewhere around that. So either Lisandro Martinez or someone had to push back with him, and then that left spaces open. So City cleverly saw that. They used to feed the ball to De Bruyne or Haaland in that space, and De Bruyne and Haaland just have to like had to pass it somewhere around, and then the whole City attack line goes like used to go and counter on the attacks. Like they were
Yeah.
just waiting for mistakes, like for the United front line to jump on them, and they can use that space. So that was clever thinking, and that was the reason I felt for from an United perspective, maybe a Casemiro was very helpful today. Like there were 2 3 instances where Ericsson had to foul the player, like maybe a
Yeah.
KDB or someone, but he didn't. Like he just waited. Anthony
He didn't
also,
have the
yes,
physique or the running capability to go with De Bruyne. So that is the clear takeaway from this match. Ericsson is not a solution in a pivot too, because especially against a side like City. And if I think Eric Ten Hag made the mistake in this match more than the players, because I would say you would need a three in a crucial match away from home. Especially, you can't expect Ericsson to cover that much ground, especially against a player like De Bruyne, and being outnumbered in midfield with three players like Bernardo Silva, Gundogan, and De Bruyne playing up against McTominay and Ericsson is suicide for me. That in itself is suicide. But I thought we could get at the back four if we wanted. But from the moment the match started, we were not on the front foot. We were dropping back. Once you drop back with to City, unless you have an outboard, unless you have a counter-attacking threat, you are sitting ducks. You will get beaten 4 or 5 or 6 or 7 or 8 nil. So that is the derby, the Manchester derby, and Manchester is blue, sadly for me
for
and
me.
all the fans. And we could clearly see the project is a lot farther ahead for City. For United, it's just in the starting stage right now. If we stick with Eric Ten Hag, I'm sure in the future we'll at least go toe to toe with City. Yeah, moving forward.
Yes, so
Yeah,
let's move
Mayur.
forward.
Yeah,
Another match for the week, North London Derby. Again, two different teams and two different styles, where Spurs wanted to sit back, try to absorb all the pressure, and where Arsenal were like front foot football, tried to use all the spaces, use all the width, and take the attack to Spurs. So here we can see on the left side, Jesus, who again likes to drop deep, just like Firmino in a certain way, and that is what led to a few things which opened up Spurs. So basically, Gabriel Jesus dropping gave them advantage in the midfield area and gave them superior numbers, and that allowed Zaka to go into that wicket space which he has, like, which was left by Jesus. And we can see this season already Zaka has scoring, like Zaka is scoring and assisting a lot, already broken his past records. So again, this is a very good technique against a team who likes to sit and press. So this drags their players towards them and leaves open spaces. And on the right hand side, again, you can see how the structure was. You can see here Partey, who was the major anchor, and Odegaard, who played on the right half space, Zaka, who played on the left half space, Jesus, who was being the striker and sometimes dropping deep, and Saka and Martinelli, who were the wingers. So having the width to play against a compact Spurs side was the key here. And again, we saw a lot of times Saka, for the first goal, for an instance, Saka generally goes one on one and takes his man. But he saw how White was comfortably on his left hand side, so he passed the ball to White, and White already had seen that Partey is in the center and he does not have too many people covering him. So he just passes the ball to him and tells Partey to shoot, and Partey shoots and gets the goal. So it was very good vision from a team like Arsenal. They knew how to play. They weren't using their normal things where Saka likes to take one on ones and go into the box and then spray, like then pass a ball into the box. And this was something different. And I felt Partey, who had a really brilliant game. Even Loris and the defenders who generally switch the out ball, that is their main out ball, to Son or someone like that. Partey intercepted most of those balls and stopped any attack which has been going through on. So yeah, Arsenal, who have just lost a game this season, looking looking very in very good form. And again, there is a next game. There is a tough match from them against Liverpool, a tough test. So yeah, looking forward to how they play against them. Was any thoughts from your side about North
So
London
for me,
Derby?
the derby was very interesting to watch. Uh, the first goal from Partey was very sumptuous, very beautiful to watch, and you know, Spurs got back into the game after they scored. Initially, they struggled, but then they got back into the game. And then there was a Doris mistake, if I'm not wrong, which
Hmm.
ended up
Second goal,
being a goal.
Jesus
So
goal.
that if you give Arsenal confidence, if they're ahead, they can blow you away. And so that was the turning point, or else Spurs would have still you know, gone toe to toe with Arsenal. But that mistake cost them big, and so that is the sad part for Spurs. And Arsenal, as always, very impressive. And Jesus pulling the strings, Odegaard, Saka, Martinelli, so many impressive players. Saliba was very impressive. Yeah, so we'll be seeing a lot more of Arsenal if they keep performing at this level. Yeah, moving forward, what do we have? Yeah,
So another big match this week.
the highlight match, I would say the one of the best, competitive match. The derbies were really good, but for a 3-3 draw, this was a very brilliant match, and no one expected Brighton to go to Anfield and get a 2-0 cushion within like first 20-30 minutes. And Liverpool really had to dig deep, and they did, eventually getting the third goal and leading after being 2 goals down. And it was Trossard versus Firmino for almost 75 minutes, almost the three-fourth of the game. And then Diaz coming in certainly helped Liverpool. But the blueprints for toppling Liverpool side is pretty evident, right? If you see the screenshots which we have, the 3 goals, as Alexander Arnold is highlighted in all the 3 goals. And if you look closely, there is more to it than just Alexander Arnold, because the first goal, if I'm not wrong, Alexander Arnold tried to head the ball away, and then Henderson could have cleared the ball, but Caicedo was too strong for him, and he won the ball and gave it to the attacking players, and eventually Trossard scored. So the first goal was Henderson plus Alexander Arnold mistake. The second goal was template goal that every side scores against Liverpool, uh, outnumbering them on the left side with Matip being exposed. And also the third goal, I think, was a big mistake by Van Dijk. So three players with individual mistakes, all three costing Liverpool goals. So this is a theme which we are noticing with Liverpool. These individual mistakes from top players who were performing at their very best in the last seasons, giving away silly mistakes which eventually are being punished by the opposition players. So the main issue that I saw is that on Trent Alexander-Arnold's side, he is getting a bit narrow, and also he goes out of position. I just watched the replay of the match just to understand what is going on, and you wouldn't believe the number of times Alexander-Arnold had to sprint all the way across from the left back position or the center position to get the ball to throw from his wing, because he is somewhere else in the match. And it is not a place where we would expect a right back to be, but he is in some other places in matches, and that him being out of position, and also sometimes Simicast is also out of position. This exposes the two center backs, and especially if you see the top right screenshot, you will see that they are outnumbering Alexander Arnold on the left side with a pass through the left flank, and then someone sprints into the box, and then Matip has to cover on the left wing, and it exposes Van Dijk with the complete penalty area to cover, and it's almost a tap in always for the other side. So Klopp has to address that, and almost all the sides attack from the left side. And this year, um, the performance from the people playing on the players playing on the right side has been very poor, especially Alexander Arnold, Henderson when he's not playing, Elliot comes there, Milner comes there sometimes. So that is a big weakness in Liverpool, which will get exposed even in the coming days. And unless and until Klopp finds a solution for this, we would have a City running away with the title, unless Arsenal, who haven't proved yet that they can go on in a season performing at this level. If Liverpool don't find a way, then it's even now it's impossible to catch City. But this is going to be a one horse race rather than a two horse race.
Right. Yes.
Also, on the top left, you have the stats from Alexander Arnold. You will see that one of his strongest suits is his crosses. If you see his accurate crosses were 0 out of 8. Out of 8 attempts, he had zero successful crosses. So this is also something which tells us that his confidence is really low in these kind of matches against Brighton side, who are very impressive. That is something which we have to say. And I have noticed that two or three players are very instrumental to this every Brighton side, and Trossard being one of the most important player. I heard that Deserbi has had messaged Trossard saying that you have to score more goals. Even before he came in with the squad, Deserbi had messaged Trossard that you have to start scoring more goals, because I believe you are a elite, very high level player. So you have to start scoring more goals. And the first game itself, he has scored a hat trick for his side. And another player who is impressive, who is very vital to this side, is March, who was playing as a right wing back in this formation. And also Estupanian and Caicedo are very good. Also, McAllister is performing like a Bernardo Silva. I saw him take on 3, 4 players just like that. So very impressed with Brighton. Lot more to see. Rather than them being solid defensively, they would out try to outscore teams in the future. Right? Yeah. So that's it.
So that's it for our Premier League coverage this week.